Hey, and welcome to another Raspberry Pi tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to set up the garage opener. First you want to enter the app-node.js folder. Once you're in the folder you want to go to the accessories directory, and when you list files you'll see the garage door opener accessory. It should be defaultly installed. You want to remove the rest of the accessories by using sudo first, so sudo su. And next the command you want to use is rm just rm, and then you want to enter all the accessories you won't be needing, such as fan accessory, KNX dimmers, light accessory, lock accessory, and thermostat accessory, and you want to hit enter, and you can see they're all gone now. So next you want to enter the garage door opener file, so you want to do nano garage door opener underscore accessory. Once you're in the file you want to scroll down to where it says the username and gives a MAC ID. You want to change at least one character in the MAC ID. So here I just changed the A to a B. That's more than enough. So now when you go to manufacturer type, this is optional, but you can set the manufacturer of your garage door opener. So as in my case, mine is LiftMaster. So I'm just putting Craftsman, or I just want to make something fun, so I'm just going to make it QuickPi, or my channel name. So next you want to go to model type, and so here this is fully optional, you don't have to do all this. So here I'm just setting tutorial because that's the model of my garage opener. Not really. Here's the serial number. I'm just going to be messing around and I'm just going to make it amazing. I'm going to toggle the case. And so that's fully optional, but next you want to scroll down to where it says garage opener current status. So unfortunately we won't be able to read the current status as I haven't been able to get the software, but if you guys can get it to work, post a comment so I know how to do it too, and I can make a video regarding that. So next you want to go to the target door C type. So here where it says on update you want to remove the line execute, and you want to hit enter and make sure you're on the current indentation or else errors are going to pop up. So what you want to type is, just give me a second. What you want to type is Python shell. The P and the S should be capital. Dot run, and then parenthesis, colon, I'm sorry, the apostrophe, whatever that's called, garage.py, and then the other colon or apostrophe or whatever it is, function error parenthesis. You can just look off the code I'm typing. If error parenthesis error throw error, and then make sure there's a colon after that, semicolon, and then do console.log. You just want to enter finished with the single apostrophe thing. There we go, apostrophe. Couldn't get that. My Raspberry Pi is lagging a little. By the way, I am using an A+ for this project. I don't think Raspberry Pi B+ and all its ports are necessary. The USB port is being used for Wi-Fi. If you want to set up Wi-Fi on your Raspberry Pi, search online, there's lots of tutorials for it. I might make a tutorial if you guys want it. And then in the console.log, write finished executing garage.py and make sure there's a colon. And ensure the code is like mine on the desktop. So next you want to close that up, that whole loop. So you want to do a bracket, parenthesis, and a semicolon. Ensure that's the code you have. So I'll just leave it on the screen for a second. Oh, there you go. Now I'm going back up, and here on the top of the file you want to hit enter on top of that HomeKit type required, and this is the line you want to enter. Var, VAR, space Python shell. The P and the S should be capital like before. Sorry about my typo. There we go. And you want to do equal to, between there's a space, and make sure there's a require parenthesis apostrophe Python dash shell, and you want to do an apostrophe and a parenthesis, and make sure there's a semicolon at the end. Next, you want to hit Control X, hit Y because you want to save it, and just hit enter, and there we go. And if you do ls, the file should still be there. You do cd space ... and now you want to run an npm install command. So npm install python-shell. Just give it a second to install. So if you're kind of confused and don't have all these directories, make sure you look at my previous videos on how to install hat-node.js on your Raspberry Pi, and also how to install the connecting app to your iPhone so you can pair the device to your iPhone and control it via Siri. You do need a Mac for this, for at least the app installation. So next, once that's installed, you want to make dir mkdir space python. There we go, just hit enter. And now if we do ls, you can see there's a new directory called Python. Now you want to enter that directory by using the cd command, cd python, and do ls. There's no files there. So now you're going to make a file using nano garage.py, hit enter, and this is going to be most probably some of your first Python files. So the first code you want to enter is import rpi. The I should be not capital, but the rest of it should be rpi.gpio as lowercase gpio. And then from time space import sleep. You want to ensure all this code is sound, or else you're going to get errors. So then you want to gpio.setMode parenthesis gpio.board in capital, and close that up with another parenthesis. And then gpio.setup parenthesis 26 comma space gpio.out. Ensure there's a space, or else you're going to get an error. Next, do gpio.setMode. Output. Oops, sorry about that typo. 26 comma 1. Oh, see, I didn't see my typo there. And then go down, back to the line, and then do gpio.output parenthesis 26 comma 0. And then close it up again. And then you want to do sleep 2. And then gpio.output 26 commas 1. Sorry about the lag. There we go. And then you want to do gpio. There should be no space, gpio.cleanup, and then just 2 parentheses, and just close it up. Hit Control X to save the file. And then hit Y again, and hit enter. And there you go, you've saved the file. So I've rebooted my Raspberry Pi, and so now we're going to enter the hap directory again. And so now we're going to enter superuser, sudo su. And so now you want to make sure the garage file is still there. And now you want to enter it, nano garage door opener underscore accessory.js. And you want to scroll down to the target door status. That's where we put the few lines of code, the Python shell garage.py. Yep, there we go. There it is, console.log, all that. So now we want to remove the line where it says if error throw error. Just use Control K when you're on that line. There you go, it goes right away. Just save the file, Control X, hit Y on your keyboard and hit enter. And there you go. And so now we're going to go back to the previous directory, cd space ... And now we're going to run the command npm install forever-g. So make sure it runs. So I skipped over its installation. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, oh, I'm sorry, lost it. Yeah. If you run forever, you don't want to run that first. Now you want to run node space start space bridged core.js. Ensure there are no errors. There we go. I think I did something wrong. I put start. You're not supposed to put start. So just run node bridged core.js. There we go. And the program should be running. ensure everything works. You don't need to see the verifying M1. We're going to do that on the next part of the video with the iPhone setup. I already set it up to make sure it works. So just hit Control-C to ensure. And so now run, you don't need sudo because you're already super user. So you want to enter forever start core, not core.js. You want to make sure you don't type core.js. So just do Control-C if you did the wrong one. And you want to make sure it says bridged core.js. And hit enter. And it should just give it a few seconds. You should see lights blinking on your Raspberry Pi indicating action. And there you go, you're going to get 2 warnings, and you can just ignore those. And so it should say forever processing file. And that's a good thing. And so now just hit clear. So now we're going to run the next command, which is ifconfig. And we want to copy down our Raspberry Pi Ethernet IP address. I've been using my Ethernet adapter, so I'm going to be using WLAN 0. So if you haven't set up the Wi-Fi on your Raspberry Pi, I highly suggest you do it, as that's going to be the only way this works in your garage, unless you have an Ethernet cable into your garage. I think I posted links in the description for the tutorials, so be sure to check those. So now we're going to be going into the hardware setup. So that's about all the software. Now we're going to do the hardware setup. So this is my garage door button. Ensure that follow that cable all the way up to your garage door. I have that cable circled. You should have similar. So this is a picture of my garage door. Those cables entered the red and the first white terminal as shown. It depends on the garage you have. So here I pulled out the wires that were connected to those terminals. Those were connecting to the button. And so now I took some home theater cable I had lying around in my house and connected some to it. So I connected 2 different strands of the home theater cable to those 2 ends. And now you want to put those back into the garage door. Make sure they're not touching. So you just want to make sure all the cables are secure. Now we're at the Raspberry Pi and the relay board. So I'm going to be showing you. So first you want to take your relay board and loosen up the terminals at the K2 relay. So you want to loosen up the last 2 terminals. So here, let me loosen it up. So I'm loosening it up. And so now you want to take those 2 strands of wires. So here they are. Those are the ones that came from my garage. I just have a white sheet on the floor of my garage so I could record this nicely. And you want to put those in. Make sure they go in pretty nicely. And you just want to quickly tighten it up. There you go. And so if you pull it out, it shouldn't come out. But if they do come out, you want to loosen it back up and put it back in. Make sure the wires are all straight, because you don't want both ends touching, or else your garage is going to be open in the middle of the night. So then you want to put it back in, loosen it up, tighten it up, sorry. And if you do the pull, I am kind of bad at this, so if you are bad at it too, just if you have too much of the cable, just fold it up a bit, and so then you want to loosen it up again. And you want to put it back in. There you go. So you just want to put it back in. There you go. And now that it's secure, you want to tighten it up very nicely. Make sure it's a firm tight. And so now if you pull the cable, there we go, it's not coming up. Next you want to do the same cable. If you have a little too much, if you stripped a little too much of the cable, you'd want to fold the excess so it becomes a bit thicker, so it's easier to insert and also has more volume to be held. So you just want to put that inside and you want to tighten that up. These screws are really tiny. I'm going to have all the materials in the comments, by the way. So now if you tighten it in, there you go. If you pull them, they don't come out. So there you go. And so now for the connecting the relay board to the Raspberry Pi, you want to rotate it. Make sure the pins are lined up. GND in 1, into, and VCC. So first we're going to be doing the ground. So take a jumper cable that you have. So take the jumper cable, connect it to GND, ensure, GND. Make sure the connection is tight as well. And you want to connect that to pin 6 on your Raspberry Pi. Pin 6, there you go. To know which pin, make sure the USB is on the right side. Next, you're going to connect the VCC. There you go, I'm using yellow. And you want to connect that to pin 2 of your Raspberry Pi, the 5 volts. So next, we're going to connect the in2 of the relay board. So here I've taken another jumper cable. This time it's blue. And I've connected it to in2 on the relay board. And you want to connect that to the Raspberry Pi pin 26. So here I'm counting carefully to pin 26. There we go. There's pin 26. And you want to ensure that's firmly in. And if you want, you can do a pull test, but I know jumper cables are safe. And that's the end of that. So now we're going to do the iPhone setup and also do a demo for you guys. It should work for you guys the same as well. So now on your Mac, you want to open Terminal. If you're on Windows, search up SSH Raspberry Pi PC. There's lots of tutorials. So now I'm going to use Terminal. And so now that I'm open on my main terminal page, you want to enter SSH Pi at that IP address you noted down before. So in my case, it was 10.0.1.56. Just hit enter. It's going to say something about some key. Hit yes, or type in yes and hit enter. And it's going to say, now it's going to ask you for the Raspberry Pi's password, and a default password is Raspberry. Enter that, and there you go. You're now remotely connected to your Raspberry Pi. So you just want to, I cleared the screen. And so what you want to do now is enter the hap-node.js directory, and just like the Raspberry Pi, we're going to do cd space hap-node.js, there we go, ls, and now we're going to do the sudo forever. We're not super user right now, so we're going to sudo forever start bridged-core.js, and just hit enter. And like on the Raspberry Pi, when we did the software test, give it a few seconds to run, and you should get the 2 warnings and an info. There we go. And now you can just exit, so you can see that's the information. You could just exit by using the exit command. I was about to stop that recording there. Whoops, there we go, exit. So now I'm going to show you on my iPhone the setup. Make sure you have the app installed. You want to go to configure. Yeah, go to configure. And now hit add home and just enter a random home, whatever. I'm just using QuickPi. Doesn't really matter. If you have more than one home, maybe it does for you. So now you want to click on add accessory. And just give it a second. There you go. Node bridge. I just hit identify a few times just for fun. Doesn't really matter. Just hit add. And now it's going to ask you just to click on add anyway. Now on the bottom, it should say enter code manually. Click on that. Enter the code 031455154. Hit next. That's the default pin. And it should say successfully connected. Device ready. Hit on done. Now you want to go back to the configure tab. Click on garage door opener control, and hit the star next to target door state. There you go. Now just, if you want, you can quickly toggle between them. And here's a demo. Hey Siri, close my garage. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you like to see more of this content. It really helps out a lot.